This is the all-new Garmin Forerunner 225. It's very similar in design to the Garmin 220, which has been on the market for a few years now. The difference is primarily the optical sensor on the back that detects your heart rate. The sensor on the back is reported to come from a company called Mio. Mio makes many of the optical heart rate sensors in quite a few wearable devices, and you can find out more about the sensor and its accuracy on sites like DC Rainmaker. DC Rainmaker reports that this is one of the more accurate sensors, although it may not be quite as accurate as a chest strap, but the big difference is, of course, it's far more comfortable than a chest strap, and you don't have to deal with slippage issues or chafing issues with this instead of a chest strap. It adds just a little bit to the width of the device. Overall, it looks very similar to the Garmin 220. Here is my heart rate being taken. Okay, we're about to set out on our first run. I'm going to go ahead and start my iPhone. Then I will reach down here and I'm going to go ahead and start my Garmin watch. Okay, checking in on the run. The Garmin is indicating I'm around 144 for my heart rate, which puts me into aerobic. I'm pushing a very large stroller with a bag, and it's about 85 degrees out here. In addition to that reading, the Garmin also tells us I have ran around 1.29 miles, around 1.3. Now, just to check in the difference, Strava app that I'm running, hard to see here because of the iPhone screen, says I have run 1.3 miles, basically exactly the same, which is a very good sign. So the big question is it worth the money? At $300, it comes in a little bit less than the newest smartwatches from Apple and the other Android wearables market. It's a little bit more than some other heart rate devices, including Mio's unit. There's a TomTom unit with optical heart rate. There's a Fitbit unit as well. There's quite a few new companies that are coming into the watch market gearing specifically to runners. So is it worth it as a smartwatch? No, it doesn't do that much. It'll count your steps. It'll give you small reminders that when you should be running more, when you should be walking more, etc. I'm not sure how accurate the steps are. It says I've walked 793 steps so far today. I haven't done a whole lot this morning. I have a feeling that's not particularly accurate. And if it is accurate, if it is actually counting my steps using accelerometers and gyroscopes and whatnot, then that's not a whole lot of exercise, and we're really overrating the steps count in far as activity trackers like that is a worthwhile metric, that you walk, say, 5,000 steps today. I don't find that I've done hardly any exercise today, and it claims I've done 800. I could do 10 times that amount, and I'm not sure if that's having done something worthwhile, having done 8,000 steps or 5,000 steps. I think knowing your heart rate and knowing your workout time and your distance traveled or your reps if you're lifting weights, those are far more important metrics if you want to get physically fit and healthier than, say, steps. Steps might be useful for someone who's just trying to get off the couch and incorporate a little bit more stairs into their day or a little bit more walking into the day. But for actual fitness or people that are already fit and want to get fitter, train for a specific race, I would say the fitness features of the steps and whatnot don't make any difference in your actual training or your actual fitness. And it's not that nice looking as a smartwatch. It's very plasticky. It is durable though. It seems to be durable. I don't anticipate having any problems with durability here. I have my other Garmin, which I've had for I think 5 years, and it's held up quite well. It still works. The aesthetics of the unit, like would this look cool on me? Will anyone ask me about this? Probably not. It looks kind of geeky, but I would say don't buy this if you're interested in a smartwatch. It's just not going to do nearly as much as the Apple Watch. It's not going to look as nice as an Apple Watch. It's not going to be, the craftsmanship is not there like it is with the Apple Watch. Even though the Apple Watch is manufactured in mass quantities, there is a craftsmanship there in the design process and the machines they've engineered and built just for that watch that you're not going to find in this. So it's really a one-trick pony in that regard. I would say don't buy this if you're trying to buy a smartwatch. Buy the Apple Watch. It'll do a lot more. There's going to be a lot more apps for that, a lot more capabilities. At a little bit less money though, at $300, if you're into running, I would say this is very important. Is it going to make a huge difference? No, but if you use it right, it will make a difference. That is to say, if you're already running 4 or 5 times a week, or even 3 times a week, and you want to incorporate some specific sessions at specific paces, at specific intervals, and you want to maybe even incorporate your heart rate as a training method into that, this is a great device because you can look down and you can find out your average split for your whole race. That is, say you want to run a 10K at a 8-minute pace. Well, with this device, you can easily do that, whereas it's not that easy on the Apple Watch yet. The Apple Watch might eventually have that, but as of right now, you really need a fitness watch that's going to be built around running, where you can continually look down, and the watch is sort of always on, right? Because this has a very boring screen, if you will, a very low-tech screen. You're going to look down, and you're going to be able to see exactly your current split on your current mile and your average split. So in training for that 10K, if I want to run 3 miles at a 7:45 pace, I can look down, and to the second, I'm going to be able to see right where I want to be, and if I'm too fast or too slow, I'll be able to speed up. I can also incorporate particular workouts on this, like say a 400 meter by 10, do 10 400 meter workouts at a particular pace, maybe 60 seconds per 400 meters. I could also do a threshold workout where I'm running maybe close to 7-minute pace, and I will attempt to go faster or slower depending upon my heart rate. I can do all that because the optical sensor is there. I'm going to find out my heart rate. Now, does the optical sensor work well? It works well enough. That's my point. Is if you're worried about it being accurate, it's close enough to do what you need to do. If you need to be closer than the accuracy of this, you're probably an elite runner, and you should be contacting coaches that have access to labs and can give you more accurate testing, lactate threshold testing, VO2 max testing on an actual treadmill with a mask on, things like that. This is going to be pretty close, just like the Garmin 620 is pretty close with your VO2 max estimate, but it's not the end-all be-all. There's a lot of variability with heart rate. The max heart rate test is often unknown for a lot of people unless you go into a laboratory. So heart rate training is useful to sort of see if you're overtraining, if you're pushing a little bit too hard, if you're noticing things with your heart rate that they're just spiking way too high. The screen is really simple to see your heart rate. But overall, I would say it's not going to make or break your training having heart rate, and it's really only useful if you pay a lot of attention to your runs and how your heart rate is varying. Now, accuracy, I've noticed the Garmin unit is very accurate. There was one run where it started a little bit off on the starting point, and otherwise it's been exactly the same as my iPhone on all of my runs. It's been very accurate. All GPS units, your iPhone, your watches, etc., will show a little bit of difference. I calculated the difference on one run was about 5%, which is too much, but that was one run and all the other runs were the same. Perhaps a firmware update will fix that, or perhaps that's the one run in 50 as I run more with this unit that'll be off. But generally I find it has been very accurate and close enough to the point that it's not going to make or break my training. And overall I'm very satisfied with the device. It's worth $300 if you run a lot and you want to improve your running.